Hello and welcome to today's workshop. We will be talking about how to discover your soul's purpose in the Akashic Records. My name is Amy and I am a holistic psychotherapist, healer, and teacher. I have been teaching courses and workshops on the Akashic Records for the past 10 years, and I've helped hundreds of people gain clarity on their soul's purpose using the methods that I'm going to describe today. So to get started, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my background so it helps you to understand a little bit more about what we're going to be doing today. So I am the founder of One Awakening. It's an online community for creating soulful connections, spiritual growth courses, and Akashic Records trainings. And a little bit about what led me here is that I was a very psychically sensitive child, empathic, highly sensitive, and I'm sure you can relate on some level to some, if not all, of these different things. I've always wanted to help people at a very young age, but I struggled to get clarity on my purpose. I thought, well, who am I to offer this to the world? And I was stuck in jobs that I absolutely loathed. And then what ended up happening is I went through this very dark period, and what ended up happening from that is this awakening that transformed my entire world. And this awakening really led me to the Akashic Records. And honestly, what happened at that point was the Akashic Records helped me discover my true calling. It helped me to be able to recognize and realize how to get in touch with my higher self, and also to help other people to move into their higher self. And also my main purpose is to dissolve the illusion of separation in this world. Since beginning the Akashic journey, I have discovered this just immense joy and fulfillment that is always guiding me. It's almost like a bright light that is leading the way. So in this workshop, I'm going to explain step by step how you can utilize the Akashic Records to transform your life and discover your soul's purpose. My goal is to make this the most uplifting and memorable workshop online that you have ever attended. And so in order to do that, let's start by setting your phone on Do Not Disturb, if you can, and close down any distracting windows on your web browser. Make sure you're in a quiet, comfortable place. And I also suggest getting a notebook so you can jot down some things that stand out most to you, and just try to be as focused as possible so you can get the most out of this experience today. So since I will be presenting, I'm not going to be able to take immediate questions. So what I've done is I've closed down the chat. I've opened the question box for our Q&A session at the end. So feel free to send in questions as soon as they come to mind, and we will talk about them at the very end. Just to give you an idea of what exactly you're going to learn from this workshop today, I'm going to go over the synopsis here. We've got you'll learn 2 major shifts in order to discover and live your purpose. And then you'll learn the Akashic recipe to enter the records with ease, even if you've never done this before. And then if you stay all the way until the end of our workshop today, we're actually going to do a bonus guided meditation in order to move into the Akashic Records. So you're actually going to get a chance to access your Akashic Records today and ask about your purpose. And so let's just dive right in. Let's just head right into the first part of this. So some of you might be brand new to this subject. And so for those of you who are, I just want to give you a little bit of background information. What are the Akashic Records, right? What is this really about? So the records are the etheric library that contains all the experiences of every soul since time began. Your records actually they contain your past and all the possibilities that might happen in the future. They exist in and around us at all times, and they're accessible when we need them. And any person has the ability to access the records as well. So who is this workshop for? Let's see if maybe you fit into any of these qualities here. Let's see, we've got one is working at a stressful, soul-sucking job and ready for a change. So I raised my hand to that one, like I mentioned before. This was something that I used to it was just such a struggle. And I know so many people are doing jobs that they hate. Or even if it's a job you don't hate, but you don't love, then this is definitely the workshop for you. The next piece is maybe you're retired and ready to discover the next part of your soul's path. Maybe you're wanting to add the Akashic Records to your healing or coaching practice. So these are different ways that you can bring the Akashic Records to life. And you might also, you might have this feeling inside that if you don't figure out your purpose soon, that you're just going to feel complete hopelessness. Because if we don't know our purpose, then we feel completely stuck. So let's go into that just a little bit more. The problems caused by not following our life purpose. We've already gone over the idea that if you're feeling stuck in a job you don't love, then that is an issue, right? And I'm not even talking about hating your job, but even if you don't have a problem with it necessarily, but you like it, maybe it's okay, but you don't love it, we are meant to be happy. We are meant to be joyful. And so that's a big piece of the puzzle here as well. So another issue of not following our life purpose is we tend to have problems in relationships, constant worry and anxiety. We might even have chronic health problems. We might suffer from depression, have addictions. And research has shown that by not having meaning and purpose, it actually significantly shortens your life. And yes, this workshop is about discovering your life purpose so you can create more joy and peace in your life. But this is also about something even more important. And that is fulfilling or not fulfilling your purpose affects everyone on the planet. You are needed. So I want to emphasize that because we don't typically see ourselves in this way, that we have all these gifts and talents and things that we need to bring to the world. But the truth is that finding your life purpose is not just about you. It's about everybody. We are interconnected. And you do have unique gifts, whether or not you know that they're there. And they're there in order to help heal the suffering and shine a light on the planet. And so it really is time to recognize and share those gifts with the world. All right, so let's take a look here. If you have that journal now, we're going to go through this step by step to take a look and see if any of these sound like you. So we've got these different thought processes. What if I'm not good enough, right? I mean, who has not thought that at some point in their life? I don't have the right talents or skill set to have the life I want. I am stuck in this job, this relationship, this health situation, etc. I am scared to make a change. What if I become unhappier than I am now? Worst case scenarios, right? We tend to run through them in our mind constantly. And so these are a lot of negative beliefs that actually keep us from understanding and moving into our purpose in this lifetime. And so what I'd like you to do if you have your journal is to make a note on your journal as to if any of these thoughts stand out to you as being the ones that you typically hear the most in your mind. And maybe there's variations of these thoughts, but whatever seems to stand out to you, I'd like you to write those down so you can get clear on it. And not for us to judge or make comments about that experience, but rather just to note, wow, this is the thought that might be keeping me from seeing my greatness. This might be keeping me from seeing the gifts I have to offer in the world. Okay, so now we are going to play an imagination game for a moment. So if you are in a safe place, which means not driving and there's no distractions around, if you can please close your eyes, set aside your journal or notebook for just a moment, and just imagine that tomorrow you wake up, you get out of bed, And these are the different things that you feel inside. So the one thing that you feel is that you have moved past all these blockages that are keeping you from being clear on your purpose. You feel this unbreakable connection with your soul. Can you just see the look on your face? Right? See yourself waking up. You just have this deep connection with your highest self. And then you feel safe and understood and deeply connected to others. And then there's a sense of fulfillment in all areas of your life. The work you do in the world, the people you serve, the relationships you create. And then there's a sense that you are worthy of love, joy, and inner peace. So just really tap into that for a moment. See what that feels like. What does that look like if that was your everyday reality? All right, and if you want to take some notes about that too, feel free to do that now. And I'm going to now just have us all take a deep breath in and then out, just letting go anything that you're holding on to right now. And we are now going to dive into the major shifts that you must know in order to move towards your purpose. Shift number 1. Get real about who you really are. All right, we talk about this, right? We talk about the fact that we are more than just these human beings. We say things like, oh, well, yeah, I know I have a soul, or I know I am a soul. I know that there's more to me than this body. But do we really know that? There's a difference between conceptually saying that and experientially feeling that. And so I want you to just get a sense right now as to what your beliefs are about who you really are. And the truth is, you are a soul. You are connected to the whole of life. You are an unlimited being of light and love. And you have a purpose and a mission. And here you are in this human form in order to bring that to life. And you really do deserve to thrive. It is part of your purpose to thrive and feel joyful and enjoy the life that you've been given. So let's look into what keeps us from this reality. Our biggest limiting belief. So the biggest one yet is I am separate. So we talked about all the other different negative beliefs that might be connected to keeping you from having that purpose and being in tune with it. And I'd like to just say that one of the biggest ones is I am separate. So this is something where, just coming back to what I mentioned before, that when we don't realize that we are a soul, when we think that we are this body, that we are separate individuals, then that's the basic foundation of all fear. And it is the biggest issue in helping us to align with our purpose. Really, this belief here leads to the idea that we have to cope with life, that we have to survive, that we have to just get by, right? That we have to take on the world on our own. I mean, how often do we feel alone because we believe that we are separate? And this is where comparison kicks in too, right? We compare ourselves to others and we just feel completely unsafe. It all begins with this belief. So a big part of this is letting go of that, right? And I know it's not as simple as just saying, I'm no longer going to think this, but because our brain can change, because we are creating our inner reality, we have a choice. We can either continue to work with this illusion that we are separate, or we can choose to remind ourselves over and over that it's not true. And so if you do have your journal out or notebook, if you could write down this belief right there, I am separate. And I want you to either rip it up if you can, almost like an energetic way of saying, no, I'm done. I'm not feeling this anymore. I'm not thinking it anymore. Or just crumpling it up in a ball and throwing it aside in this recognition that you're letting go. You no longer have to believe that you are separate. Okay, perfect. So we're going to move on to the second shift now. The second shift is stop seeking your purpose. Yeah, so I know that sounds a little counterintuitive here, considering that's what we're talking about, is discovering your purpose. But just hear me out for a moment. So what it comes down to is this piece right here. The great irony is that seeking your purpose is so often what blocks you from discovering it. You may have noticed, right? The more we seek out something, the more we're going to miss it. It's like the story about a homeless man who would sit on this chest filled with gold, and he never thought to look inside because, he thought it was too simple. He was conditioned to look outside for answers. He never thought to look underneath his nose. He never thought he had that much wealth. Right? He thought, I'm poor, I'm homeless, I can't even imagine, that would be inside the chest that I've had all my life. And so this is, a nice way of looking at it and saying, well, maybe the purpose of my life is right underneath my nose. Maybe you've been sitting on your purpose chest, so to speak, and that you just haven't opened it up. Let's talk about the truth about life purpose. So what it comes down to is, as we're seeking this life purpose, what is it exactly that we're trying to find, right? What is it exactly that we're trying to do? Well, life purpose, it evolves as you do. So it's not this just solid thing that never changes, because if you think about it, life is all about change. Everything is constantly in movement. And the same is about our life purpose. As we grow as human beings, it grows with us. And it's this knowing that it's going to continually change and grow as you do, which helps you to move into the next part of your life transformation. And again, you don't have to seek it. The information really is available to you now. And so as spiritual seekers, if you identify as a spiritual seeker, you might realize that each time you try to find something, you end up back where you started from, wanting something more, right? It's this more mindset that we need more to complete ourselves, when it just isn't true. So you were actually born knowing what you were meant to do and how you are meant to do it. You were given this inner compass in the form of the Akashic Records. So this is how the Akashic Records process cuts through this obstacle. The desire to know your purpose is coming from a heartfelt place within. The records help you to bypass the seeking-oriented ego mind by raising your consciousness. So basically, it's the energy vibration of the records are helping you to align with your higher self, and it provides this direct route to the answers that your heart yearns for. So now I want to tell you just a short story about one of my students. Her name is Anna, and she was jumping from one spiritual teaching to the next, right? Coming back to this spiritual seeker mentality. And she came to my classes and she really decided she was going to commit herself to the records. She said, okay, this is it. I'm going to do it. I'm really going to focus on it. But she felt so blocked. She couldn't get information. She was really struggling, but she was dedicated. That was the main difference here. And she just kept practicing, and we had a group at the time, and she was noticing that the messages were getting clearer and clearer about becoming an energy healer. And then she realized that what was happening was that she was having all those limiting beliefs come up, such as, I don't have enough experience to do energy healing, I'll never make a living in this field, all of these different blockages. And so then eventually she started seeing the signs about her purpose. She took the necessary steps to get the training, she quit her job, and then she slowly, of course it didn't happen overnight, but she slowly merged into becoming a Reiki and sound healer. And it's incredible. She now makes the money she wants to make. She does one-on-one sessions with clients, and she also teaches classes. And the purpose of this story is to show you that if Anna can do this, so can you. If it requires you, if your purpose requires you to make changes in your life, then that's okay. You can do it. You're always supported in that process. So now I'd like to go into that secret Akashic recipe that I spoke about at the beginning. And here it is. So the secret Akashic recipe is these different elements. We've got 1, brainwave sound tuning. We've got meditation techniques that I utilize and targeted Akashic prayer. So now I'm going to go into each one at a time and give you a little bit of background. So this brainwave sound tuning, basically what that does is it helps to get to the brain into a alpha or theta level state. And so we need to be in one of those states in order to access the Akashic Records. We are typically in the beta or high beta if we're very stressed out brainwave state. And that's because we're always on the go, right? We're in doing mode constantly. And so in order to access the records, we need to tone down that energy. We need to come into the alpha or theta state. And these brainwave sound tuning elements are really, really helpful in doing that. So I create these healing tones and then I mix it together with a mindfulness meditation to help deepen that relaxation response in order to get you to the right frame of mind. And then we have the Akashic prayer. So this was a unique prayer given to me in my Akashic Records exploration. And what it is it's a powerful way to set the intention for entering the records. And I actually use the prayer to open the records right before the workshop in order to help increase the benefits that you receive here. And so when we begin our Akashic Records journey a little bit into our workshop here, then you will get a chance to experience that as well. And so let's move into talking about a little bit more about this recipe. So this recipe works even if you've tried many self-help products and have never had good results before. This also works if you are afraid of what you might find out about your life purpose. It also works if you're afraid you won't be able to access the Akashic Records. If you feel overwhelmed and frustrated with all the self-help and life purpose information out there, totally understand that part. Or if you often feel like your situation is hopeless. What is so incredible about this recipe is that when we put it together with a group, with a whole bunch of different people, or even a small group, that this makes us even more powerful. What happens is it takes less time, energy, and confusion out of knowing when you're in the Akashic Records. And it makes sure you get the answers that you're seeking about your life purpose. And so it's pretty interesting how that happens. We just bring it all together, we bring people together, and it's the energy that can really make a huge, huge difference. So now we're going to go through the summary here. The fast track to your life purpose. So what we talked about was recognizing and releasing the limited conditioned beliefs about who you are, especially the major 2, that I am separate and that I need to keep seeking my life purpose. And then the next one is deep inside you already know what your purpose is, and the Akashic Records can help you make the unconscious conscious. That's the difference, is the Akashic Records, it's not a framework for seeking, it's a framework for knowing. What it does is it helps to activate the things that, some things anyway, that we already know are true within ourselves and that we second guess ourselves on because we can't trust ourselves fully. And the Akashic Records can help us to see the reality of the intuitive messages that we are getting. And then there's the secret Akashic recipe, which can help you access the records with ease and discover your purpose. So don't do this alone. Like I mentioned with this group practice piece, we always need people to help us. We always need a group or a tribe or a mentor or something, someone, because we just can't do anything in the realm of purpose or the realm of growth without connecting with others. So you might notice, right? Let's say you have back pain. You go to a chiropractor or a massage therapist to help relieve that pain. If something happens and you need to talk to a therapist, you go to a therapist to help you move through those experiences. So we all need people to help us move out of our stuck places. So everyone who has successfully become unstuck works closely with mentors, experts, healers who know how to bypass the fear. And it really helps to get us out of these negative belief systems that tend to be pretty ingrained at times. And also, anyone who has successfully become unstuck is willing to invest in their transformation, right? They're not freebie seekers and casual lurkers. This is coming back to that spiritual seeker mentality, right? Where we're just constantly going from, oh, maybe I'll try that, maybe I'll try this. But what ends up happening is we don't get very far, right? You might have noticed, because that's not commitment. That's not the energy we're putting out. We are putting out the energy of, maybe. And then we're not getting the results that we're looking for. And I have personally worked with many clients in individual and group settings, and I do assure you that having this customized support and structure is essential to your success. And your success is 100% dependent on the degree of customized support you receive. So just want to put that out there again so that it's just moving through your consciousness. And then I want to offer you something before we go into our meditation here, is the One Awakening Akashic Records certification program. I'm so excited. It's starting March 24th. It's a live 10-week program that will dive deeply into all the information covered in today's workshop. It will go much, much deeper into that process. And you'll also gain complete clarity about the details of your soul's contract and receive support as you embark on your forward journey. So let's talk about what this certification program, what all the juicy details are. So we've got 10 weeks of live small group get-togethers covering everything we talked about, and then where you're also guaranteed to graduate with confidence. So we have these one-on-one time experiences on the live call where you're going to get all your questions answered. There's a private Facebook group where you can connect with other members, ask questions, and receive unlimited support throughout the program. The entire step-by-step toolkit to access the Akashic Records, and it's very well structured too and easy to navigate. And I promise you, no one else teaches this powerful, straightforward method. And there are tons of Akashic Records trainings out there. But the major difference in this is that no matter if you are a complete newbie, or even if you're very experienced, no matter what is going on in your mind, in your life, in your consciousness, this program can help you go into the records and get the answers you seek because of that secret recipe that I explained before. That no matter where you're at in your life or what's happening, that it can cut through all those obstacles to get you to where you need to go. And by the end of this program, you're going to become certified as an Akashic Records soul contract reader through One Awakening. You'll be able to do readings to help others discover their purpose and is this marketing material for your Akashic Records practice. So like we talked about at the beginning, if you want to integrate this into your holistic healing or coaching business, then I give you resources on that. And at the bottom here, you can see ideas for how to integrate this method into your current business model. And then for those of you that are seeking to get out of the job you're in, or you just want to know, what is my purpose so I know what I can do, then this would be for you as well. And then also there's the how to charge or how to know what to charge for services worksheet, because let's be honest, right? Talking about money can bring up fears and worries. And what it comes back down to though is money is an energy. It's an exchange of energy, just like everything else. And when we get very comfortable with that and we can see that money and service do go together, then we can be more confident about doing the work that we're meant to and really truly living our purpose. So then here is the information for what it is worth, what the value of the program is. So the core curriculum with unlimited support for 10 weeks is worth $3,000. I have spent years on this program, and I've done that because what I do is I go into my Akashic Records and I get the information straight from there and pull it into this course because I want it to be so useful to you and so well targeted that you get that transformative experience that you're looking for. Then there's that step-by-step Akashic Toolkit, which is worth $1,000, and then the bonuses, which are worth $1,000. So the total value of this course, this program, is $5,000. Now, clearly that's not what I'm charging for this course. So basically, what the investment is, what I was originally asking, is $1,297. But what I did is I discounted that down to $895. But for the next 2 days only, there will be an early registration discount, which brings the investment down to only $649. Now, that is less than $65 a week for unlimited support. And a typical coaching session ranges from $200 to $800 an hour. So that can sometimes be up to $3,200 a month for 4 sessions of coaching. And since you're getting unlimited support and it's less than $65 a week, that is a much bigger difference. And the investment is only $649. So let me talk about, let's see here. So that's only for 2 days as a reminder. And then there's only a few spots left. So the way that I do things is I don't want a big group of people in this situation. And that's because I want to give you the one-on-one attention you deserve to get all your questions answered and to work with you directly. So basically, having a small group means that not everybody can be a part of it. I only have a few spots left, and it's just going very, very quickly. So I've already had to turn away a few people who just weren't committed enough and didn't seem to be a good fit. And the way you know you're a good fit is, do you feel like you're ready? Do you feel like you're ready to step into your true high self? You just want to know who you really are, what you're here for, and you're willing to do what it takes to get there. If that feels like you, then this program is for you. And it is a commitment. It is something that, it's a 10-week commitment. But what it comes down to is that when you're ready, you can feel it inside. And a lot of you would not be here today if you weren't ready. And so I'd like to offer you this program if it feels right to you. You can click the link below and use a discount code Akashic Gift. When you pay in full, it's that good price of $649 instead of the $895, which I previously discounted it to, but only for the next 2 days. Okay, so just to reiterate here, now you have a choice. You already know the cost of not moving forward, right? I mean, you already know that you're going to remain stuck and confused, unhappy with where you are in your job and relationships. You might feel lonely on your journey to finding your purpose, or maybe you already do. The possibility of never knowing the truth about who you are, what you have to offer the world, and not living the life you were meant to live. So here are the benefits of moving forward if you decide to go forward with this program. You will finally receive the clarity and understanding about your purpose and the action steps to make it a reality. Then you'll also transcend old conditioned belief systems around not enoughness and unworthiness that have run your life up until now. Then you're going to become a part of this community of like-minded individuals where you can feel completely supported and accepted for who you are. So that's the offer. I'd like to just give you this opportunity to decide if that feels right to you. And just to take some time too, because we're about to go into the records and do this meditation experience where you can discover more about your purpose. And who knows what kind of experience you might have there. So let's just dive right into the Akashic Records experience. So let's start by making sure you are comfortable. Set aside anything in your way. Make sure you don't have any distractions around. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the brainwave technology in the background while I lead you through the meditation. I've already opened up the Akashic Records prayer process, and so what that means is that we're already ready to go. As soon as you close your eyes, I'm going to guide you into this, and then we will see what you experience. At the very end, I'm going to do questions and try to see if I can get your questions answered. If I can't get them answered today or on this workshop call, then I will actually email you back. Okay, so begin by finding a comfortable place where you will not be disturbed. And just begin by taking a few deep breaths, slowly and gently, moving into a state of awareness. Noticing any passing thoughts or the ones that try to hook you in. Any sensations in the body, any emotions that may be present now. And with gentle awareness, without the need for judgment or commentary, just noting what your inner world is like. If any thoughts, feelings, or sensations grab your attention, just make a mental note of them and let them go. If any of these thoughts seem to override your ability to be present, you might imagine a locked box to contain them in for now, with the knowing that you can come back to these thoughts later if you need to. Now place your hand on your chest, feeling the way your chest moves up and down with the natural rhythms of your breath. As you breathe in slowly, count to 5. And exhale to 5. Continue that now, just pure, compassionate breathing into 5 and out to 5. And your inner experience is deepening as we travel to the Akashic realm to meet with a guide to lead you to the truth of your soul's purpose. So imagine you are surrounded by beautiful luminescent white light. It encompasses your entire body and surrounds the space around you. And this light feels warm, relaxing, calming, and safe. Soaking in the energies of this beautiful healing light as it washes away all worries, fears, and difficulties. And as the light begins to fade, you see a giant library in front of you with large wooden doors. And you begin to open the doors very slowly. Looking inside, you see tall shelves of books everywhere. Just take in the beauty of this place, noticing the small and large details of your Akashic Records library. And there is a fireplace in the corner of the library with comfortable places to sit. And you head over there now to relax and wait for your guide to appear. Now, out of the corner of your eye, you see a guide walking towards you from the other end of the library. Notice what the guide is wearing, how they present themselves to you. And as they get closer, this guide takes a seat nearby and smiles. Their presence is warm and inviting. So now I'm going to give you a few minutes to ask your guide what you need to know about your soul's purpose, and wait silently for their response. It might come in the form of words, images, sounds, or feelings inside. So take that time now, and I'll come back to you in just a few minutes. Now thank your guide for their help, and let them know that you can come back at any time to speak to them again. And start to come back to feeling the fullness of your body here and now. Bringing awareness to your hands and feet, and shaking them out a bit to wake them up. And take one more deep breath in and all the way out. Take your time opening your eyes, as there can sometimes be a distinct shift in energy. It's really important to ground your energy with a glass of water, or just slowly take your time getting up. And you can open your eyes whenever it feels right. Good, good. So I'd like to give you a chance, if you'd like, to take some notes of your experience. And while you do that, I'm actually going to move into talking about the most asked questions on our call today. And so I have a lot of questions here, so I don't think I'm going to be able to get to them all today. So if I don't get to your question, I will definitely get back to you within the next day or so at the very latest. Okay, so let's get started with the Q&A. The first question I have here is from Jennifer, and she says, wow, that was incredible. Well, thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate that. And she said, thank you so much for this experience. How do I know if what I saw and felt was real or just my imagination? Yes, so wonderful question. I'm so glad you asked that. So in the Akashic Records, imagination is real. So, which is kind of interesting. You might not have thought of that quite in that way before. We have just assumed that imagination means something unreal, but in truth, it is just one of the ways we can tap into the records. And so it's just one way we get in touch with our soul's messages. And truly over time, Jennifer, and anyone else who is wondering about this question too, it does get easier to trust the messages you receive. And when you join the certification course, we'll dive deeply into how to naturally trust the information you receive. Because trust comes with practice, and as we practice together, it gets so much easier. So now I'm going to move into the next question here. We have a question from Ron. Ron asks, I didn't get the messages I wanted in the meditation. They were muddled and confusing. Does this mean I'm not cut out for this? So Ron, thank you for sharing your experience, and you're absolutely cut out for this. Anyone can access the records, but it does take patience. And most of the students I've worked with, they've said that they've gotten confusing information or nothing at all in the records. So that is a really typical first-time experience. And if you have been doing Akashic Records work for a while, still sometimes it happens because if we didn't sleep well the night before, we're not eating well, self-care is a big part of it too. So you are learning how to travel to the Akashic realm. It's like learning any new skill, right? So the more you practice, the easier it will get. And then our next questioner here, Andrea. Andrea says, I would love to join the program. I'm wondering though, if I cannot make all 10 of the live sessions, should I wait to join another time when my schedule opens up, or will you offer this again? So another great question, thank you. I will be providing program participants all the replays of the sessions, and you will get unlimited support through the program when you need it. So the guarantee is that you will not leave the program until you feel confident in your reading abilities. And really, I'm not sure when this will be offered again. Typically, this program is offered only once a year and sometimes even less. So I highly suggest signing up within the next 2 days to get that offer and going, at the program at your own pace. And it's perfectly fine if it takes you longer than 10 weeks to complete the program, because you're going to have lifetime access to the content as well. Okay, and then we've got Laura here. She says, I would love to do this program just for myself, but not for work with clients. Is that okay? So absolutely, Laura. This certification course is for you to decide how you want to use it. So you can use it just to deepen your skills in the records or to do readings for clients. So no matter what you decide, you're going to have lifetime access to the course content, and you can always revisit it again later if you need to. And if you decide later you want to use this to add to your skill set to work with clients. So then I'm just going to take one more question here, and the rest, I am sorry, I'm going to have to email you because I know we're just going a little bit over time here. So Heather asks, finances are tough for me right now, but I really want to join. I have 2 questions. How does the payment plan work? And 2, is there a money back guarantee? So I completely understand that situation, and yes, there is a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if for any reason you decide to cancel the program, you can definitely do that. The payment plan has 2 different options. So there's one to pay more upfront or another one to pay less upfront, depending on your needs. And then you pay the balance off in installments for a few months. And really, it only takes $199 to get started today, and that's it. And then you'll be sent all the information through your email. As soon as you sign up, and I'll show that link again here in a moment, as soon as you sign up to the program, what ends up happening is you're going to get a welcome letter sent to your email. And then you'll be getting all the information through your email as well. So this just goes over the certification program details again, and here is the link. So you just go right here. I don't know if you can click here on the screen, but you can type this in your web browser. It's oneawakening.kartra.com/page/Akashic-program. And the discount code is Akashic Gift. And so that's all the time we have for questions today. I know there's more here, and again, I apologize, but I will get to them as soon as possible, and I'll be emailing the responses to you shortly. And then as a quick reminder, the discounted rate to join the program ends in 2 days. So just so you're aware, you want to jump on that as soon as possible. Most courses like this cost thousands, but I really wanted to make this more affordable. Here's the link again on the page to access the sign up page, and feel free to also ask me more questions if they come up. When you click on that page, there's a help desk link, and you can get in touch with me that way too. So I just want to thank every one of you for being here. I just have such a great group of people, and I'm so blessed to have shared this time with you, and I thank you for your attention and dedication to this powerful process. I am just so thrilled to be able to share this method that has helped hundreds, almost moving into the thousands here, already merge the physical and spiritual realms and get the answers to the questions they need. You are not alone in the spiritual journey, so I hope to see you in the program on March 24th, and I wish you the very best. Many blessings to you all. Thank you.